pause and record. Go full screen that. And there we go. We're live on the internet. Hello, lovelies.
Hello.
Let's do an intro again. Hello, it's me, Jed.
Hi, I'm Christina.
That's Christina, my roommate, and we're going to talk about the video games because that's what this show's about.
Yes,
And eventually, we're going to have an interview with Mathieu, I believe his name is, from the game known as Tiny Brains, which is coming out on PS3 in America on the 3rd. I think it comes out the 10th in the UK, $19. 10% off if you're a PS Plus member, which obviously you are.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you be? And yeah, you get 10% off, and it's a fun little game we're going to talk about.
See?
So anyways, if you've never seen us, I'm Jed. I have a YouTube, youtube.com/Jed05. Also at Jed05 on Twitter. I make YouTube videos, obviously, about video games. I have a beard. And I have like all the consoles. I like to do the video game stuff. So what about you?
I'm Christina. I'm primarily, you probably know me as Chris of Siren. I tend to do a lot of modding for Jed, or a lot of pretty much anything he wants me to. I'm like his personal assistant.
What do you do in real life?
I'm a currently college student / working as much as possible to pay for college, and I play video games.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
We play games.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So that's our introduction, and on the show today, as I said, Tiny Brains. So that's what was next on my list I got here. So what have we been playing? What have you been playing, Christina? And give us some thoughts about it.
Okay. Well, Thanksgiving break started, so I've been playing Guild Wars, Knack, Contrast, all within the past 3 days.
And that's Super Mario 3D World that we've been playing.
Which is fantastic. I'm big into couch co-op, so any kind of game where you can have all the roommates play is what I prefer.
Right, and couch co-op, pretty awesome.
Yes.
Pretty awesome on that. We played for like 4 or 5 hours on stream.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Sponge Brother. Welcome to the Talkroom. But yeah, we played for like 4 hours, and I would say the graphics are great.
Yeah.
The music's great. It's either new music or a remix of old music. I heard some Mario 64 and I think some Mario Sunshine in there.
Yeah.
The gameplay, fun. It just, everything's good. Where's my favorite? But this is a very close second.
Well, what I liked is that like every episode we went into was completely different.
Right. Every level, just none of them felt repetitive. They all felt like their own, like, unique level.
Yeah.
And that's impressive, especially for a Mario game.
Yeah. Still the chaos of having 4 people playing, but that's where the fun stems, because you're just yelling at each other to work together when someone's just jumping off and dying repeatedly. Not naming names or pointing fingers.
It was her. It was her.
But overall, I would recommend it to anyone.
Another fun thing that you can do in Super Mario 3D World, you can pick up the other characters, which you can throw them, to reach a far away place, but you can also just grab them and throw them off the side of the level.
Yes.
Which is funny, but you only have, you collectively share lives, and there's no real bad thing if you lose all your lives. You just go back to the overworld and start the level over, so it's not too bad.
And if you're getting sick and tired of someone lagging behind, you can just pick them up and carry them through the whole level.
Right.
Just don't toss them off a cliff.
Listen, Christina, I love you, but you suck, so I'm just going to carry you.
I'm sorry.
I'm just going to carry you.
Just carry
as
me
I do
with
with every
broad
game.
shoulders.
Every game.
What? No, you don't. Excuse me?
Name one game you're good at.
All of them.
See, you couldn't even follow instructions. How can you be good at games?
I hate you.
So, you said you've been playing the Guild Wars? How is that? I personally had the Guild Wars, and I played for
2 hours.
Maybe like 2 or 3 hours on launch night or so, and then I haven't touched it again since.
I just recently picked it back up. I went with a Necromancer Sylvari, because I'm big into the plant people. It's been a long time since I've have done online MMOs, so it's just a whole new experience, just getting back into the groove of that and multitasking, which I tend to be awful with in the first place.
Cool.
I don't know what the best way to say because I haven't really interacted with anybody.
And then
graphics look good. Storyline's good.
You finished Contrast finally.
I did.
What was your overall impressions of Contrast?
It kind of gave me. First off, I should say I'm big into Bioshock, so it gave me that kind of feeling I had with Bioshock, like a lot of wonder. I liked a lot of the artwork in it. There were times where I got stuck and was very frustrated and wanted just to give up in the gameplay. Like, just stuck doing puzzles. Like, it would glitch on me and I would just be stuck.
Not stuck because it's like, I don't know how to answer this puzzle, but stuck because it's like...
The graphics, like, I was just... Like, it would freeze me and it was awful and I would have to, like, do whatever I possibly can or restart the level to continue playing.
What would you say your favorite thing is overall, and obviously your least favorite thing is probably the glitch?
Yes, that was awful. My favorite thing was the way that they designed the puzzles because you have they're not easy. It's a lot of I don't know, shadow play. What is the best way to describe these puzzles? Or shadow play, but that and the story. I enjoyed the story. It was short and sweet. I think it only took me 4 or 5 hours to complete it.
Anyways, I don't know what that is. So, on top of that, what have I been playing? Man, I've been playing so much stuff I can't even think. I've been playing Xbox One a lot, you know, since that came out. That's weird. At the Xbox One, I've been playing a lot of Rise and a lot of Dead Rising. Apparently, it's the system that is about rising.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mob. But yeah, as far as the whole like Dead Rising is really fun. The whole thing about it being 20 megabits per second or whatever, or not megabits per second, 20 frames per second at times, is like minuscule. Like, yeah, sometimes there's some slowdown, but it's very, very rare that there's actually slowdown. It's like, unless you're really looking for it, it's, you know, you just don't see it. You just don't see it happening.
I just like the fact that to keep a combo going, you just scream repeatedly.
Oh, that was in Rise. That was in Rise. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my mind just went like to Rise.
Dead Rising and Rise. It's hard to like keep them straight because you know they both have that coordinate Rise. So anyways, yeah, Dead Rising though. Dead Rising, it fixes a lot of the issues I had with Dead Rising 1 and 2. Oh, hello. It's not Seth Rogen though. It's Jed. So, a lot of the issues I had with Dead Rising 1 and 2 is like, I'm like a completionist, and it just drives me insane that there's like a survivor that I'm in like 2 survivor situations, and it's like I have to pick one. And like I guess there's the whole thing of like people are like video games need to have choice, but sometimes I'm just like I don't want a choice. I want the choose to keep everyone alive, and then
I don't.
It gets to the point where it's like I just get upset and I don't want to play because I'm like I can't save everyone, so I keep going back to a checkpoint and trying to save everyone, and it just doesn't work. And in Dead Rising 3 so far, it's given me enough time to like do everything. So I can like do the story as I want to, but then I can also do the side missions. I haven't had anyone die yet.
I just like the characters that are in Dead Rising 3 this time around compared to 2. I feel like there's more character development and there's actually diversity. I don't know. It's like normal people.
There is diversity. I mean, it's
it's actual human beings.
Right. Sort of. I mean, it's kind of campy, so there is a kind of like stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like I ran into like this guy that looks like Gabe Newell, who is like a really geeky RPG gamer guy, who's like really weak, and he's like, I'm only good at doing RPGs. So yeah. That's okay if he wasn't an admin, whatever. It just confused us. Troll out of 10, we got troll. So, yeah, but yeah, there's like a Gabe Newell. There's like a Russian angry lady. I don't know if that's a stereotype. I feel like it is.
There was a fat woman in the buffet. That was awful.
You've seen that. I don't think I've got that far.
It's so gross. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Like, it's like Evil Dead type.
I feel like because it's like campy and it does it across the board, it's more okay, and it's not doing it in like an offensive way. Sort of like Street Fighter is all these like stereotypes of like different people of different races, but since it does it like across the board, it makes it slightly more okay. But
I mean, it goes on the top of the humor. You're making these crazy weapons out of everything you've found. I think my favorite weapon by far is a dragon head mixed with a carousel. So you're just flying and breathing fire at things.
yeah, the whole thing with it is like just combining weapons and just staying over the top. Like that's the whole game that's just over the top. The amount of zombies you kill. Combo vehicles is amazing.
Yes.
Like a steamroller on the front of a motorcycle with flamethrowers. Yeah, Hoverhog. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but that's cool.
It is.
But yeah, it is. It's fixed a lot of things overall, and there's no saving issues. The only thing that's annoying is the initial time that you load, which it's just when you start the game, it's like up to a minute of just loading screen. So you're just like sitting there like, all right, what's going on? And if you pick like restart a checkpoint or something, it does that. But otherwise, you don't really have that issue. I think it kind of loads in the background when it's doing cutscenes when it needs to. But
they'll probably improve that too over time with updates and stuff too. So.
What else? What else have you been playing while I gather my thoughts?
I actually started playing some Knack. I know you and Tony were ahead. And then I got ahead of you because I just played for 8 hours straight. I actually enjoyed that. Like, it does have a very like childish theme to it, but it was just very simple and it did get repetitive over time. So that was my biggest thing I didn't like. But other than that, I like the storyline. It's just a very simple game if you just don't want to do anything. But we were also doing it on easy, so I could just make my way through the story and be done with it.
Do you give it a Knack out of 10?
Yes, I'll give it the perfect Knack out of 10.
The Perfect Knack. That should be the sequel, is what it should be called. The Perfect Knack, and it's like the perfect storm of Knack parts, and it's just really big. That's a freebie for you, Mark Ernie, however you say your last name. No, I've heard it said both ways. It's like Raichu, or is it Raichu? I don't know.
It's whatever you feel like.
It's like Pikachu, or is it Pikachu?
It's Pikachu.
I know.
No, don't even have this conversation.
Yeah, Knack is pretty good.
I enjoyed it. It was nice. Other than that, it was mostly all the games I listed previously.
Played a little bit of Forza, and
did you?
Not a lot. I got it because the graphics look good and the gameplay is fun, but there's some large issues, and this is moving into our next section. Large issues we have with Knack and Rise, more so, or not Knack, Forza and Rise. Not so much on Rise, but mostly on Forza. There's microtransactions in the $60 games that we're buying now. And this is in all first-party published, or at least titles published by Microsoft on Xbox One. So you've got Rise, you've got Forza, and you've got Crimson Dragon. All have microtransactions in them. And in Rise, they feel completely optional. And that's how microtransactions should feel in a full $60 game. It's like, I can play this game and I don't feel like I'm suffering. And I can, advance, and I'm not having like my time held hostage or anything. Because that's really what a microtransaction is. It's like, how valuable is your time? Do you want to pay an extra $10 to beat the game a little easier, or do you want the challenge and a little bit of grinding? But there's really no grinding in Rise, so it is there if you want it, and that's how they should be.
I like that, yeah.
But in Forza has the biggest ridiculous grind, and that's one reason that I haven't been playing it so much, is because I just dread getting to the point where it's like, I either have to grind for hours for a car, or I have these microtransactions thrown up on the screen saying, hey, give us $10, and then you can get a car that you could just grind and get, or you can just pay for it and get it. And it's not even like just $10. Some of the cars are like lots. I think the one is like $100, and that's if you do it in the tiniest increments. And then on top of that, and this is the thing, this is like them spinning in the gamers and the consumer space, is the microtransactions are like, you know how when you go in like League of Legends or something, it's like, you can buy this many, or you can buy this many for a little more, and we throw in some extra, right? Well, the
which
math.
is what I usually do.
Right. Well, the math does not add up in Forza. The very cheapest one on the left, 100 tokens, is like $1.
Yeah.
Then there's one that's 300 tokens, that's $4, or I mean $5. And then it just keeps going up like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, these are the best deals over here when they're not. Your best deals are just keep buying $100 or 100 tokens for $1. And it's just insulting that they would do that, like try to like trick you because you don't want to do the math.
Yeah.
On top of, you know, a $60 game holding your time, you know, captive behind a paywall.
And the thing is, like, with microtransactions, you know you're doing it wrong is when someone's questioning your microtransactions.
Right.
Like, everybody, like, with, like, the free MOBAs, no one really cares about spending money. They're just like, oh, I want this, I'll spend some money over it. And then probably for that whole year, someone has at least spent $500 to $1,000 without even realizing it.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing about a free-to-play model, which is what the, you know, microtransactions are typically for. Like League of Legends, you pay because you want a skin that doesn't do anything to the game other than look cool.
Well, some do.
And two, you want, well, it doesn't like affect the gameplay though. And two, you want to get you know, support the developers. Like Blacklight Retribution on PS4 is free, obviously, and I spent $10 on credits for the game. Not because I had to get anything. I mean, there's some things that you do have to buy if you want, but they're completely optional. And I didn't feel like other people like ran out and bought them and were doing better than me with just what I had. So I spent $10 in the game because I was like, I love this game. It's free to play, and I want to support the devs so they can keep working on things like this.
That's my feel about it.
But yeah, so that is a big thing going on. The Forza people said, we're going to look into it, and then they also said, but while we're looking into it, we're going to put a sale on these for like 3 days, so we're going to have 50% off microtransactions. Like, it's just like, poof, missed the point. Like, you know.
I mean, they're trying.
Well,
you have to give them credit.
You know, you can't blame, like, 100% blame the devs or anything. It's the publisher's decision on these kind of things. And a lot of times, the dev is kind of in an agreement where they have to just be like, yes, this is what we did this, when really it's the publisher and they just don't want to do it. And I feel like that's where Rise came in, you know, and said, you know, we're going to make this easy enough to do that the microtransactions are going to be completely questionable. So
and that's always a good thing too, like the questionable.
Right.
We can talk about Tiny Brains for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we can talk about Tiny Brains a little bit. We can't talk about it in great detail because there's an embargo and it's not out till the 3rd of December, and I believe the 10th. You can Google it to make sure, and the good old UK and other regions. It is a 4-player co-op puzzle game that you can play couch co-op. I believe there's online. We'll confirm that when we do our interview.
Yep.
And which is coming up soon, by the way, so stick around for that. And you basically play as like little, like, what, a mouse, a hamster, a bunny rabbit?
Gerbil?
A gerbil? Maybe? I know him, the purple guy. He doesn't have fur and he has a bandage over where his stuff would be.
I think he's supposed to be a bat.
A bat? Yeah,
maybe.
So maybe. But they each have like...
because the sonic attack, he has to be a bat.
Yeah, he does have a sonic attack. So it's just like think of it as like Pinky and the Brain, the 4-player co-op game, because that's kind of what it is. It's like they're not planning to take over the world per se, but they're trying to escape from this lab by solving puzzles, and like they have like each room is a different puzzle you have to solve by working together. And you can play as a 1-player person, or you can play in single player.
Yeah.
Or you can play in multiplayer, and you guys can switch between all the characters on the fly.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit of single player, and we played a little co-op, and we found that sometimes just co-op makes it a lot easier, so single player is a lot more challenging. The Hangover 3 is already out, actually, so you're behind the times, Militia Access.
The nice thing about Tiny Brains is it works really well with the PlayStation 4. I was able to join instantly into co-op with Jen.
Right, there's drop in, drop out.
So, and the nice thing is it changes colors depending on what character you are.
Right, so the light on top of the controller, when you press L1 and R1, you instantaneously change, and this changes color. Which, you know, you don't really see it unless you're like holding it like this, I guess. I still don't really understand the whole like point of the light in games, since you know, if you hadn't have noticed like my controller or however you saw it, I would have never known. Because I'm always looking up there and never look down here.
The nice thing about Tiny Brains too is pay attention to like the environment that you're in, because they have little cute and hilarious little readings in there.
The story is told by what seems to be like a mad scientist type character who is talking to the Tiny Brains because they're like his experiment. But then along the way you'll find like newspaper clippings and things like that in the cages that you're in that you can read, and like notes that he's wrote.
Some of them don't make sense at all. Others you're just like, question.
It's pretty cool.
What's happening?
So
yeah.
It's go on.
No, that was me ending right there. It's a good game. I would highly recommend getting it when it comes out.
Right. We haven't finished it yet, and we can't really like give a full review. But thus far, we say, you know what? It's pretty good. So
yeah, especially couch co-op. Get some friends together, eat, drink, and have fun.
Right. Sorry if there's a little echo there for a second. Just have to fix this thing.
Why did you bring up Killer Instinct?
I didn't. It's just on the other tab. I don't know why it's playing that. Just flipped over to the Xbox One and it just decided that it was playing Killer Instinct. So
like it knows.
Connect voice. It works.
What do?
Sometimes.
Yes.
I like to meet stuff with it.
You do.
I do. That is fun.
Well, you'll just walk in and be like an Xbox mute, and it's awful. I was watching something.
Right. Touche. Gotcha. Should have been watching it on the Xbox.
Why am I being censored?
The chat is being censored because we got so many trolls before that I turned on like a global chat list, just so it censors us in the channel, just to keep it a little classy. Yeah. I'm all behind swearing. I'm all for it.
Just believe him.
Just once you get to a certain point, we have to draw a line.
Yep.
So let me get good old Skype starting to fire up on the iPad here. We'll get the interview going, and then we have one code to give away. You'll want to pay close attention to the interview because we're going to ask a question involving the interview. To get you to
give you a code that we'll give you on December 3rd.
Right.
Due to the embargo.
Right, there's an embargo, so we will give you the code on December 3rd. I'll do it like right at midnight Eastern time, so you can have it. But you will want to tweet at Jed05 with your answer, so if you have Twitter, you might want to get that pulled up now. Just gotta log in here. Which button is the button?
Which button is sign in?
Which button is the button?
Which button is...
Oh wait, it's an iPad. There are no real buttons, sort of, kind of.
Can you type?
I have like so many I have so many passwords. It's really hard for me to sign in with that.
The lead Xbox, yes? What do you think on that? I personally say yes.
We'll save questions for the end. Alright, let's see.
Aww, I'm sorry.
If you don't have a Twitter, you can make one real quick. You have time.
Is he ready?
I'm going to find him right now. Skype on iPad is not my favorite. Not the biggest fan of it.
That's okay.
What is his name?
It was Mathieu.
Right, I'm trying to find it.
Is it under M?
Oh, it's this guy.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. Hello, Jesse Cervantes.
Or video call.
No, we're just doing a normal call. We can do a video call.
Nah, we don't need that.
Hello there.
Oh, hello. This is Jed
and
Christina with the Talkroom.
Okay.
We're live on the air right now. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, just so everyone knows who you are. I'll move closer here.
Okay, so my name is Mathieu Bissonnette. I'm a designer at Spearhead on Tiny Brains. And Tiny Brains is our first title. So I guess I'll just talk a bit about Tiny Brains.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, so Tiny Brains is a 4-player co-op game. So we primarily designed Tiny Brains with the co-op in mind. So it's 4 players. You play as lab animals with superpowers, and they're trying to escape a mad scientist. And each one of them has a unique power that is physics-based. So the first one is a bat that can force objects. The second one is a rabbit. He can attract objects towards himself. So we call him force pull. The third one is a mouse, and he can swap position with objects. So basically, he is a teleport. And the last one is a hamster. He can he can actually create physical object. And the idea is to combine those abilities to work together as it. Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. We played it a little bit so far. It's pretty.
Okay.
We're enjoying what we've
Nice.
played. But we just had some questions about the game, of course. So, what is
Sure.
the main inspiration of the game?
The main inspiration, okay. Well, as you might have noticed, the game is mainly focused on gameplay, and what we first had in mind was to recreate the atmosphere of a co-op experience in the living room. So we wanted to play with our girlfriends and the whole family on the couch. So we first designed the game as a 4-player co-op game.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have been, trying to get a good co-op game, and there's not many of them out on the new consoles.
yeah,
yet.
exactly right. So yeah, for the last decade there aren't that many co-op game out there, and especially not casual co-op game that you can play with your girlfriend and the whole family. And plus, most of the co-op game aren't like truly co-op in the sense that you don't really need to interact with each other. In Tiny Brains, you really need to interact with each other. So you really rely on your friends to solve the puzzles and action sequence. You can also play as 1 player, but we really recommend to play with 4 players. So this is why we also have an online mode. So if you're alone at home, you can still play with others online. But of course, the best experience is to play with friends on the couch with a beer.
Right. So as far as the online mode goes, we saw questions online and nobody seemed to know for sure. Is the online, can you do online and couch co-op at the same time, or are they one or the other?
Yes, you can. You can play 2 players on the couch, and then you want to be 4 players, so you add 2 friends online. You can
Awesome.
either choose from your friend list or just play with random people.
That's awesome.
Okay, and one other question that we had, I can remember off the top of my head here is, was this game at all inspired by Pinky and the Brain, the old cartoon with the mice planning to take over the world?
Actually, it wasn't really inspired by that, but really soon we noticed the resemblance between the two for sure. But yeah, it's an artist from Paris actually designed the characters at first and the enemies. I don't know if you're there yet, but there are small chicks
Yeah.
that you fight. Yeah, so that was the basis of the universe, and then came the scientists and the cages and the whole universe, and we really soon realized that it was pretty close to Pinky in the Brains. Yeah.
And we noticed that there is a character indeed called Pinky, it seems like.
Yeah,
in the game.
exactly. Yeah. That's a coincidence also.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah.
So some of the other questions we have is, does the game run at native 1080p 60 frames per second? Since everyone seems to always ask that
Those
question now.
questions.
Really? Okay. What do you mean? Does it run at all time at 60 frames per second, or?
Is native resolution 1080p? Do we know, or it's okay if you're not sure?
Are you playing on PS4 or? PC?
Yeah, we're playing on PS4.
On PS4. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it's 1080, but I'm not sure. So
That's okay.
I wouldn't answer.
Okay, and is there any download content planned for the game?
That's a good question. Yes, actually there is. I'm working on it right now. So it's gonna be mainly challenges. I don't know if you've played the challenge mode yet.
We haven't had a chance to dabble in that yet, but
Okay, so I think you should, especially challenge one. I think it is. It's a systemic tube. It's really fun to play with friends. Um, so the DLCs are going to be mainly challenge maps that are going to be added to the game. So ball challenge, puzzles, combat, everything.
okay. And I saw that there's two other modes. I don't know if you can really talk about them that are locked at the beginning. Just curious to what they are, but if it's under wraps, that's understandable.
You mean the Jules mode and Troll mode, right?
Right.
I guess we're pretty close to release, so I can speak a bit about it. So, Juice mode is a solo mode, so you play as one character. It's actually a fifth character, and you have all four powers. So it's a different control scheme. Yeah, and it's also not core mode. So if you die, you really die. So you don't respawn.
So it's like a real hard core mode, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the troll mode is basically that. So you play. It's best played with 4 players, obviously. And so the specificity of this mode is that your powers affect the other characters. So you can, for instance, force push your friends in holes and stuff like that. So it's really trolling mode.
That's cool.
Cool.
So the game is out on PS4 on the 3rd, and then it comes out on what other systems is it coming out on for sure?
Sorry?
What other consoles is it coming out on other than PS4?
It's coming on PS3 also and Steam on the 11th of December.
And do we know, is the PS4 cross-buy, or is it just, its own standalone thing? Like you don't get it on PS3 for free when you buy it on PS4, or?
For now, it's a standalone thing. It would make sense, yeah, I guess, to give it for free for the PS3, but it's more a publisher thing.
Right.
Yeah, but I guess it would make sense. But for now, it's not planned this way. It's planned standalone. And yeah, so maybe later we'll have plans for Xbox One also, but it's not confirmed yet.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I had. Did you have any, Christina?
I did not.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say or tell everyone listening?
No, I guess that's pretty much it. Just make sure to play the challenge maps and try to beat the best score. The best score right now is 5,000, I think 5,200 in the challenge 1. So if you really want a challenge, I think you can try to beat that.
I think we might do that tonight.
Yes.
We have permission we have permission, I think, from your PR department to stream the first 2 challenges or first 3. So might do that on stream and see what happens.
Awesome.
But yeah, thanks for calling in, and
it was my pleasure. I hope you'll enjoy the game.
We did have another question come in. Do you guys have a plan to come out for the Vita at all, maybe in the future?
Okay, really good question. We would love to, because it makes sense, because it's like, the game is a bit Nintendo-ish, I guess, so it would make sense to release it on the Vita also, but it's an investment for the company, so we'll have to choose our battle. So it's either we do it for the Vita, or we do more content, we jump on Tiny Brains 2, we'll have to decide, but it's something we're considering, that's for sure.
Alrighty, well, thanks for calling in, thanks for the game.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity with the game.
Right, it's been fun so far, and it was a fun time talking to you.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure,
Right.
So, yeah, have fun, guys.
Alright, thanks, bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
That was Mathieu. I don't know how to say his name for sure. But oh no, I have to press a button. My battery died.
Your battery did die.
People can still hear us though.
We're back!
We're back. Anyways, he was from Spearhead Games. They're the developers of Tiny Brains. So yeah, there's a little bit about the game, and we do have a code to give away. So again, if you want a code for Tiny Brains, we will be sending out the code to the winner on December 3rd at midnight.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard, yes. It's important to make sure of that. So you'll have to tweet at Jet05. If you don't have a Twitter, then now's the time to make one. Which I didn't ask the question I was going to ask about
It's alright.
cartoons for sure, but during the interview, what cartoon did we ask if Tiny Brains was influenced by? So the first person to tweet me the answer at Jet05 gets a free copy of Tiny Brains. So yeah.
I know. Yeah. We'll see if that happens.
Right.
Instantly.
So it might happen. So this is a part of the show where we'll answer questions, or if you guys have topics for us to talk about, we will talk about it.
Yes.
Portion.
At 9:50.
Right. Here in a minute. But if you guys have anything in the chat you want to talk about?
Yes.
But while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and start getting logged into our call-in app.
I like how this is the time for questions and everybody's just like...
I think the chat's going a little slow
That's
tonight,
right.
too. So, because I've been seeing people respond to us like after the fact.
That's good.
Streaming on PS4 and not Xbox One, because there's not a streaming app right now, as you know, inside of Xbox One. Twitch missed the launch date, and we're covered up again. Twitch missed the launch date, but you can still stream if you want to stream through HDMI through a computer, which you can't do on the PS4. So that's why we're streaming through PS4.
Yeah.
Then we get a wider audience, or like a more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like an audience that's there.
Yeah.
Inside the PS4 streaming app.
Yeah.
So that's why we're streaming through this.
Someone asked about Tiny Brains, and then we'll get to Thundercats versus Silverhawks.
What did they say about
They
Tiny
just
Brains?
wanted... Tiny Brains is a game that we've just been talking about. It's a new game coming out on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and Steam. They preferably want it to be 4-player co-op, but it's basically just you being a little cute lab rat doing puzzles.
Right.
That's as much as we can do.
And we're still waiting on the first tweet with the answer of what cartoon did we ask if it was about?
Yes.
Or ask if it was influenced by. Just tweet at Jet05, and it's a $20 copy of the game that you get for free. Like we said, it is 10% off on 10% off if you have PSN Plus. So you can get it for, what is 10% off of that? Come on, Christina, do math. 10% off of $20?
Nope.
I believe that's $18 for those of us that can math.
I'm just exhausted.
I am exhausted. This was
Not you. Not,
This
no.
was a long day, a long show. This person really wants us to talk about medical weed, but
Rugrats was a great show.
But that was not the
Not a
cartoon.
tune.
All right.
I would pick Thundercats. That was mine.
And we might as well just open it up to some phone calls here. So if you guys want to call in and ask us a question, get your phones ready. Write this number down. 567-459-0533. That is 567-459-0533, which actually spells out 0JED. If you look that up, that is my Google Voice number. And yeah, it's a thing you can do.
You know, you the television.
Yeah, let's flip over there.
No. I do not watch hockey. I would like to. If you have a team I should get into, let me know. It's Jed05.
Somebody tweeted me the answer. It is Jason. He is at J42074. And I don't know if
We're
that's
from Ohio.
if that's J42074 or what. I don't know.
Congratulations! Congratulations, Jason!
You win!
You
The answer is
win!
Pinky in the brain!
Congrats!
So on
to
December
you.
3rd, I will tweet you the answer, or the code. Actually, I'll follow you and then I'll send it in a DM to you. The sweater is not J. Crew. It is
We're
actually,
from Ohio.
We are from Ohio. This sweater, I got it at Target last year for like 20 bucks.
Congratulations
It's
on
a
that.
nice cardigan. I like it.
Beautiful. Probably should give the number again for anybody who wants to call.
Anyone who wants to call. Alright, this is the last time. If anyone wants to call in, I'm going to give out the number. The number for this is 567-459-0533. That's 567-459-0533. So yeah, we'll give it a second here. If no one calls in, then we'll just call it a show.
Hot God, are you giving an arrow to the knee to Jed or me?
He's saying
He has to pick. He has to pick. Go with the beard. Because it's going to determine who you just proposed to. Ah,
Both.
then we'll give him to Jed.
I win. I always do. So I do have Killzone, and I don't think it's the greatest. I think it's okay.
Oh, there we go. There's Jason.
There he is. There's Jason.
Jason, you're right. Sorry.
Lord of the Rings or Hobbit? Lord of the Rings at this
Hobbit.
point. The Hobbit is
Just
good.
because I like Martin Freeman.
I'm gonna go with Lord of the Rings just because I like twinks. So
You would. You would.
not into dudes with beards. Sorry.
Is this even game related? No, it's not.
No, we're kind of getting off track. So.
There is a Lord of the Rings War of the North game. That's really fun.
Speaking of The Hobbit and gaming, they just announced that they're bringing out next summer or next year sometime Lord of the Rings or Lego Hobbit games.
Really?
So it's going to come out probably before the final movie and span the entire trilogy.
I like those Lego games. Really fun.
I don't know what this is, but it's a thing I
It's
started doing.
a beard with the top hat. No, it's a mustache with a top hat and beard.
Okay, this is going off rails fast. So we're going to go ahead and end the show. This has been episode 2 of the Talkroom. If you want to watch it back, it's going to be on youtube.com/jet05.
Follow the links.
Follow the links. I don't think there's links on
Not this
Twitch.
no.
But youtube.com/jet05, @jet05 on Twitter, and also youtube.com/jet05.
And I'm at Corrosive Siren on Twitter.
You can find her, and you can stalk her, and you can tell her horrible
Please
things.
don't stalk me.
I'll tell you our address. Just tweet at me.
That just means I'll find you.
That's fine. And then me
Don't
and them
find
can
me.
make evil plans together.
Yes, it's Fallout 4A. I'm excited. Not here yet.
It's not here. That's coming. They also registered Bully 2.
No.
Yeah, they just did that. Well, they didn't call it Bully 2, but it was like Bully some subtitle that seemed
because it
like
was
a placeholder.
Candace Carpe Diem.
2K, live is awful. EA is not a
Are we
favorite.
streaming later?
Actually, yes. I almost forgot. I'm so glad someone reminded.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. For me. But we're gonna stream Tiny Brains. We're gonna start over at the beginning and stream what we are allowed to stream, and then we're gonna do the challenge mode, and we're gonna take that high score. So suck it, other person who has the game early. You're going down.
Oh, okay. That's the most aggressive I can be.
And new episodes of the show are gonna be either on Friday or Saturdays, usually at like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
9-ish p.m. They were still getting, things set in stone and viewership and whatnot. But we do stream quite often, almost nightly. Usually later in the night, like 12, because I work second shift.
It's when we're all home.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thanks for watching this, and we're gonna stream Tiny Brains in just a moment. So thanks for watching. See you later, guys.